Every other Saturday at Eldervale Castle was cleaning day. All the castle staff, as well as the Bright Hands, Arya, and Jin, worked until everything sparkled. King Aldrich and Queen Lyra would divide up all the different tasks so that, with everyone's help, the floors would be swept and washed, the kitchen cleaned, the bathrooms scrubbed, the furniture dusted, and the rooms tidied. On this particular cleaning day, Arya, Orik, and Jin were given the following list of chores to complete: clean their bedrooms, dust the living room, mop the dining room, and finally, sweep the castle steps.
Let's divide them up so that each person cleans their own room. After that, we each take one of the remaining chores,
suggested Jin.
Good plan.
Arya agreed.
That way we can finish quicker. I want to rearrange all of my books in alphabetical order once I'm done with my tasks.
When I'm done with my chores, I'm going to play the new game I got for my birthday,
exclaimed Orik.
Who wants to join? I'll play with you,
said Jin.
It looks like a really fun game.
Let's decide who does what,
Arya suggested.
I'll mop the dining room.
I'll sweep the castle steps. That leaves the dusting for me,
Jin added.
It's a deal. Let's get to work.
Arya grinned. The three friends high-fived and dashed off to start their tasks. Arya tidied her room, put her art supplies away, and began sweeping the floor. Camille joined her to pick up small scraps of paper and twine from her past art projects. Arya smiled at Camille and hummed to herself as she worked. Before she knew it, her room was spick and span. She started towards the castle dining room to complete her mopping, but on her way past Orik's room, she noticed that Orik and Jin were playing a board game with colorful game pieces and shiny coins.
Knock, knock. Shouldn't you two be cleaning?
She scolded, noticing that Orik's room was still quite messy.
Oh, yeah,
said Orik.
I started to clean, but then I found the new game. We thought we'd just play for a few minutes,
added Jin.
We're right in the middle of a game. Do you think you could dust for me, Arya? Just this once. I'll help Orik clean his room, and that way we'll make up for lost time.
All right,
said Arya.
Just this once. But don't forget to do your other chores.
Arya relented as she bustled off to her next task. She mopped the dining room until it gleamed, and then set about dusting the living room with a feather duster. Camille fluttered around the room, helpfully knocking dust away with her wings. After dusting all the furnishings and windowsills, Arya wiped her brow.
Phew!
She said.
Thanks for your help, Camille.
Camille chirped at Arya cheerfully. Arya put the cleaning supplies away and headed back to her room.
Finally, I can organize my books,
she thought to herself happily. However, as she passed back by Orik's room again, she noticed that it remained a mess and the two boys were still playing their game.
Guys?
She said hesitantly.
I finished mopping the dining room and dusting the living room, but the castle stairs still need to be cleaned, not to mention your rooms.
Orik and Jin looked up at her.
Yes, we'll get to it. We're almost finished with our game,
said Jin.
But it's getting kind of late,
Arya said. Orik looked concerned.
We do need to clean our rooms. Arya, would you sweep the steps for me? I'll pay you back next time and do your chore.
Arya hesitated for a moment. She knew Orik and Jin were being irresponsible by waiting to do their chores, and didn't want to encourage that behavior. However, it was the second time she had told them to clean up. Any more, and they might get angry with her for badgering them.
I don't want Orik and Jin to think I'm nagging them,
Arya thought, concerned. So, to keep the peace, she reluctantly agreed to take on Orik's chore. She headed back to the supply closet to find a broom and went out to the castle steps where she began sweeping the dirt away. She thought about Jin and Orik playing their game as she swept and began to feel a little angry.
Why do I need to work while they get to have fun?
She thought to herself.
It isn't fair. I want to have fun too.
After all, it was their chores that she was completing, and she was anxious to get to her books. She was nearly finished with the steps when King Aldrich popped his head out of the door to talk to her.
Arya,
He said,
you're doing a great job, and the dining room looks wonderful. But where are Orik and Jin? I asked them to help with these chores too.
Oh,
Arya paused, not wanting to get her friends in trouble, but also still feeling frustrated over the predicament.
they're in Orik's room, playing the new game he got for his birthday.
King Aldrich shook his head.
They're letting you do their work for them? I'm going to have a talk with those two. They ought to know better.
Arya imagined him shaping Orik and Jin up very quickly with a stern talking to. That would definitely get them working on their chores. Unfortunately, the longer she pondered the situation, the more doubts she had. What if they tried to pawn their chores off on her next cleaning day too, because she was too nice to say no today? Arya decided she needed to confront Orik and Jin herself.
King Aldrich?
Arya called out, just as he was turning to leave. The king paused, waiting for her to speak.
Would you let me talk to them, please? I think it is important for me to stand up for myself.
Of course, Arya.
King Aldrich smiled fondly at her as he retreated inside. Arya finished sweeping the last 2 steps, then put the broom back. She headed over to Orik's room, gathering her courage with a deep breath as she walked. She was nervous about confronting Orik and Jin, but knew that, as her friends, they would want to know how she felt. She paused at Orik's bedroom door.
Orik? Jin?
She asked timidly. The boys looked up from the game that they were still playing. Arya cleared her throat.
I should have spoken up sooner, but I don't think it's fair for me to do all the chores. We agreed that we would each clean our own rooms and take on one other chore to split up the tasks fairly. After all, I have fun things I want to do too. I don't mind helping you guys out sometimes, but I feel like you guys took advantage of my kindness today. I really think you need to take a break from your game and do your chores.
After Arya finished speaking, Orik and Jin blinked as what she said sunk in. They realized that they'd put their own responsibilities onto their friend.
You're right, Arya.
Said Jin apologetically.
I was having so much fun that I wasn't thinking about anyone but myself. I'm sorry I made you feel that way with my actions.
I am too.
Orik added.
Will you forgive us? Next time, we won't push our chores off onto you. That was wrong of us, and we see that now. Thank you for telling us. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that.
I forgive you.
Arya said, relieved that she had finally spoken what she was feeling.
I'm going to go water my plants in the garden while the sun is still up.
She added,
And we'll get to cleaning,
said Orik, as he and Jin jumped to their feet. The 3 parted ways. Orik and Jin went to clean their rooms, and Arya scampered off to the garden where she carefully watered each of her plants. When she was satisfied that everything had been cared for, she returned to her room.
I'll finally get to alphabetize my books,
She thought.
It will be so nice to have them organized.
When she got back to her room, though, she found that all the books were already in alphabetical order. Adventure of the Ancient Mummy was before Below the Blue Oceans, and The Train to Seoul came after Lucky Duck. Arya's eyes lit up.
Who did this?
She wondered aloud. Just then, she felt a small tap on her shoulder. Arya turned to see Camille, who had flown into her room through the open door, perched on her shoulder. Camille chirped, motioning to the doorway with her tiny head. Arya turned around to see Orik and Jin standing there with big smiles on their faces.
Surprise!
They chorused,
We wanted to pay you back and help you with something.
explained Jin.
And to say sorry for pressuring you into doing our chores today.
Added Orik.
We hope it's right.
Jin exclaimed,
It's perfect.
said Arya.
Thank you both.
She enfolded her friends in a hug, while Camille flew around them in a large circle. Arya was very pleased with her new, organized book system. She was also very proud of herself for having spoken up.
Hey,
She said,
now that all the chores are finally finished, want to play a game together?
Yeah!
said Orik.
How about a game of Go Fish? I know you like that one, Arya.
Arya smiled at Jin and Orik, feeling glad that she had two compassionate and understanding best friends.
Let's go.
Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to like and subscribe to the Matheus Academy channel for new videos and content. Parents, if you'd like to talk with your child about some of the lessons learned in this story, check out the link in the description below. Our parenting videos provide some lessons and tips that we've put together, so go ahead and check them out. Come and see what makes Matheus Academy and the world of Meridian a great place to spend time with your child.